Before we kick off this video, a quick shout out to Velo, a place where you can find these wonderful factor bikes in the UK. They're running like an open day, coffee, chat, demo rides potentially, look around the showroom, look around the bike fit area, the lab testing area. I won't tell you too much about it. There's a link down below in the description. At the end of April, I won't be there unfortunately. I'm in Mallorca doing the 3-on-2. But if you're interested, click the link down below and maybe you can head over there and check out the facility.
Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. Back to normality, back to hopefully the training side of things again, because the last few videos have been about the bike and everything else, so it's nice now to get back into the swing of things with like 3 weeks until the Mallorca 3-on-2, and I've been saying that if I'm in good enough shape, I will try and go for the Seaclub KOM while I'm out there, although it's a very high risk thing to go for with such a small window to do it in, so we'll see how that goes. But we're training for the Mallorca 3-on-2, which I'm very excited about. I love Mallorca, love cycling there, been there a couple of times, so I'm looking forward to doing an actual event there. So today's training is going to be a big day again. I know you enjoyed the last one, which was like an 8-hour training day. So this one's going to be fairly similar. We started off breakfast today because I'm out for mostly like the whole day. Again, a fair protein hit in this morning with breakfast. So I've been making protein pancakes recently. Like 1 egg, protein powder, 25 grams of oats, and like 100-gram banana. Blend it all up, spray a bit of oil in a pan, and like I basically just do one big like pancake, which is about 23 to 25 to 30 grams of protein depending on how much I use. And then what I do then is I have like a bowl of cereal alongside it, so I top it up, and the breakfast then comes in at like 100 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat, and like anywhere between sort of 30 and 35 grams of protein. On a day like today, unless I have sort of numerous cafe stops, or if I take like some form of like protein with me, like I won't be able to, you know, keep up that sort of drip feed effect throughout the day, which it's one of the macronutrients that I think like you still need to get some protein in, obviously, you know, if you're training, if you to like come back at the end of the day and you're trying to play catch up, and of course it doesn't really work like that. Like, you know, it's very difficult to catch up. So I don't talk about it much, but protein is probably the one macronutrient that I actually have to plan for because it takes time to prepare, or because it's not simply as convenient as the other two macronutrients.
So this training session today is going to be one step up from the last one I did, which was like 7 days ago, 8 days ago. But this first hour, it's going to be really intense. We're going to try and get done 4 or 5, depends how much time I've got to meet Anthony at 9:15. Like capacity efforts are just going to be going up a hill. It's about 4 or 5 minutes. Capacity will just be basically whatever I can sustain for that time period. So virtually like VO2 max training is what you would generally call it. So we're going to hit them hard to start with for the first 30 seconds, like well over what I'd be able to sustain for the full length of the whole interval. And then I'll settle down into something a bit more sustainable, probably around 120% of FTP. And yeah, we'll try and learn something from what I'm capable of sustaining over the 4 and 5 efforts. Oh. So obviously it's very difficult to get footage of my intervals unless I wear a chest strap, but don't fancy wearing it for 6 hours, I've got to be honest. I've yet to master the art of flat out efforts with a GoPro in my mouth. But that was, I managed to squeeze in 4 intervals. Hard starts for each of them, like I said. Doing about 550 watts for the 30 seconds, and then I was sitting down and settling into, well, it turned out to be about 400. The 4th interval I was definitely dying. My heart rate was way up, it got to 180, which was the highest, which was great, but my power was starting to fade, so it's good because I'll make a note of that, and then next time we'll know, you know, how far we got. Well, that's part 1 of today done. I can chill out for a good few hours now with Anthony. So, well done, Ed. Ticking the box. Hey! What about that for timing? I feel like I'm making a colour coordination sin today. I got yellow, I got fluorescent, and I've got red on my shorts. I've dressed with style, just not with colour. Alright. Oh, he's proper fully loaded. That'll be me in a couple of weeks' time around Wales.
A bike is a thing about you.
Another episode of Ant Eats. Lemon and coconut.
Coconut in.
It's proper zingy. You can smell the zing. It's that zingy. Alright.
That's not it, is it?
Yeah. Oh, Terry, man.
No, this is a pleasant surprise.
Anthony's having a go on my bike.
Sure, you partner.
How you
Nice
doing?
to see you. Nice to see you, man.
You too.
Come and meet this legend, man. How you keeping, man?
I'm okay, yeah.
Jesus.
That's my new bike that I picked up last week. Well, that was a little bit surreal. So we were just about to leave the cafe and we bumped into my old sort of headmaster from when I was in like secondary school, which is obviously like 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've seen you, Terry, in 10 years. He's just got into cycling himself in the last couple of years, which is amazing. Like finding cycling like later in life, and like it keeps you fit, healthy, active and everything. He's found the bug now. We were talking about how much sort of school can influence, you know, people not just academically but like in like just sport as well. And yeah, it was great to bump into him and shoot the breeze and not like catch it, like try to catch up for 10 years. He's obviously seen me like race and heard about my exploits, but yeah, we'll have to go for a ride soon. Well, nearly 5 hours in now and I've still got my enthusiasm. I'm sure you can all understand that when you have new equipment, it doesn't have to be a new bike. It gives you extra motivation, and I'm feeling that. I don't know if any of you are interested in, you know, having a video where I talk about my initial first impressions of, you know, this bike and how it moves overall, and like, you know, how the Shimano Di2, my first impressions of the 12 speed. Yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know, because it's obviously getting some attention, this bike.
Oh, well, at least these rides are starting to get easier, which is a good sign. 6 hours on the books now today. Chain gang group ride tonight, so I'm going to. I'm not going to save the ride because I want to, even though technically I won't be heading out on the bike for another 2 hours, because that window is like so small. If it was obviously like bigger, say if I was doing a ride this morning and like there was like 10 hours until the ride tonight, then I would save it because there's a fair window of recovery there. But because I've only got 2 hours, it's like a really long cafe stop. But I want to keep the file all together just for the sake of like WKO, Strava, Training Peaks. I know you can combine files afterwards, but it's just nice to have it all in one, because I'm just keeping an eye, when I do days like this, when I've got an evening ride planned, it just makes it a little bit easier to read and tidier, and it gives me an indication, especially if I'm going to do efforts later tonight, what I'm capable of, like deep into a ride. And when it's saved, then it'll actually give me like proper figures from, you know, late on, like post 4,000 kilojoules of work and stuff. I'm gonna get like a big meal in me now, like get my feet up, probably catch the end of the Tour of the Basque Country.
Just like this, I'm gonna walk you through from the very beginning.
How was Anthony?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so
His freedom on the bike.
yeah, I enjoyed this ride, to be fair. Right, part 2 of my ride, and Charlie's got spontaneous Zwift race for back pedal, D's Watts. Still in D category because you haven't raced since you got promoted, and it works off like your best efforts over the last 90 days. So she's still a D, even though technically she's a C. But you know, the category is the category. So that's what you're in. You might even get promoted tonight, to be fair. So just give your best, and if you do, you do. But helps that I'm meeting a group. So I'm going to do the chain gang. I'll catch you in a bit.
So second week in a row for me at the local evening chain gang. We do it on this sort of coastal road. It's like a 3.5 minute lap on a good night. It's really blustery, and I've been trying to do a couple of intervals to finish off this long ride today. It's not really happening because of the wind. Like, I'm having such a strong headwind in some places, and then a very strong tailwind in others, and I'm not able to sort of get the power out consistently. And to be honest, I was just going to do some 3 minute on, 3 minute off at like whatever I could sustain, like roughly what I could do this morning. I was able to do it, but it was tough going. This bike is, someone like me, like my build, I think I would struggle to ride anything deeper than like a 30 mil wheel, and obviously I'm riding 20 mils. Yeah, I think I would struggle in wind, although it is like 30-mile-an-hour winds, to be fair. This is the exposed section here, coming up to it now. And we like turn off this road, and we turn onto this, and this is where like it gets really exposed. Social cyclist. Any sort of secret like way of training, you know, when you're trying to perform under fatigue or under heavy load, you just gotta like try and do an effort when you're under fatigue and heavy load. I mean, you know, I'm 6.5 hours into today, and it's about like just trying to get something out of myself, you know, squeeze on a bit. And you know, you could argue it's not optimal, but you know, when you've got to try and perform after 6, 7, 8 hours, then there's not really any other way around it, to be honest. I quite enjoy it though. I quite enjoy doing efforts later on, because it gives me that sort of sensation of, you know, I'm not a Tour de France rider, but this is about as close as I could get to it, you know.
Just got back in time for the finish. Final few 100 meters. '14th, good job. Alright, I gotta get food on. 108 TSS in 59 minutes. 211.5 5 kilometers. I probably can't see that. 4,884 kilojoules, 2,600 meters climb, normalized power of 232 watt, and 7.5 hours of ride time. 350 TSS. So this is roughly the same as last week's long ride, or the ride I did like 10 days ago, but I obviously did a lot of intensity in the first hour of this ride today, so I'm happy with that. Food is ready, and it's a giant tray bake of what is it exactly? There's kale, there's courgettes, carrots, there's butter beans.
No,
Cannellini beans, not butter beans.
Yeah.
Red onion, pesto, green pesto,
lemon wedges,
veggie
sausages,
corn sausages, and corn nuggets. Yeah, it's a fair amount of food, but we hungry. But tray bake is my new favorite thing to do, I think. Lots of flavors, lots of vegetables, and just tastes nice. So that's tonight's evening meal. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.